Retail workers have always faced stresses on the job, coming from their internal company sources, as well as customers giving them a scowl or insulting them because their product was just a few more cents than last time. As the COVID-19 pandemic caused retail workers to endure even further madness from supply shortages to thieving issues, stress and mental health risks have grown exponentially for these poor workers. As a retail worker for almost 2 years, I have endured numerous crazy scenarios as I have tried to help these poor customers. Retail workers deserve fair and respectful treatment just as much as we all deserve. And they deserve stronger support as they continue to endure crazy scenarios as they try to make it by on a small paycheck. 3 ways in which we can help make retail jobs more enjoyable for these workers include 1. Giving compliments, kind gestures, and appealing expressions towards these workers. 2. Supporting emotional help for retail workers in the work environment. And 3. Improving safety of retail workers through funding towards higher quality equipment and safety programs. To start, let's take a look at the simplest and arguably the most effective method of uplifting the self-esteem of retail workers. Smiling is a simple yet effective way to brighten someone's day. The exclusive writer group wrote in the article Effect of a Smile on Others and Yourself about how people will typically associate smiling with positive emotions like happiness or contentment. Exclusive 2021. Due to the mental association of smiles with positive feelings, our minds naturally feel more happy when we smile, or someone smiles at us. Giving a compliment is another great way to bring up someone's mood. Most of us love to receive compliments. I know I do. Do you? I'm sure you do. Compliments are great. Let's give them. Many retail workers find enjoyment when they help others, and we need to express that gratitude when we are helped. Liz Torres conducted an interview with retail worker Carolyn Sullivan, asking what aspects of retail favor her in her interview on Monster.com. Sullivan told her how her favorite memory is after working with a customer for an extended period of time. She was very appreciative, and she even mentioned to my boss that I gave her excellent service. The amount of positive effects is exponential when customers give thanks and show their appreciation, which is why we should do that ourselves when we are customers. Gratitude, smiles, and compliments are simple yet effective ways to make anyone happier. Now, let me tell you about another way we can help, more through a financial means. Stressfulness in retail workers has only increased over time. In fact, this chart from Martin Armstrong's article, Employees Increasingly Under Stress, shows the level of stress overall in retail worker interviewees from 2009 to 2020. Now, this graph shows us a concerning increase in stress, starting at 31% in 2009 and spiking up to 43% in 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic added even more stress to this. Under the article, for retail workers, Omicron disruptions aren't just about health. It showed some of the effects of stress on workers. It said how schools and daycare facilities may have longer quarantine periods for exposed families, putting workers' parents in a bind because workers' parents didn't get that same amount of time. This confusing decision caused retail parents to have to return to work while their kids would be home alone and still in quarantine. Some kids can't do that. An elementary school kid can't be by himself all day. They're just not able to take care of themselves. There are multiple programs in place for retail workers to obtain help, and they need funding to continue their efforts. Evolving Minds, Inc. is one excellent example of a nonprofit organization aimed to help provide support for these workers. The website tells of some of the positive impacts they've already provided for these workers. In fact, they said on their website through their results from their first program, over 50% reduction in employee absenteeism, callouts, that's another word for that, within the first 2 months of the program being active, which means that there were employees willing to go to work while taking this program because they were getting the help that they needed, which is essential, which is why we need to fund these programs to help these workers be able to enjoy their jobs as they take care of us, the customers. Now, you should understand the seriousness of stress in retail workers and why we need to help them through donating to health support programs. Finally, let's take a look at a way we can help improve their physical health. In addition to the COVID-19 virus spreading safety threats physically, physical threats have arisen to workers of the customers themselves. Retail workers feel unsafe at their workplace now more than ever as tensions are on the rise and patience plummets in customers. In fact, the New York Times article for retail workers, Omicron disruptions aren't just about health. In Jacksonville, Florida, one Apple Store employee organized a brief walkout on Christmas Eve to protest working conditions after he witnessed a customer spitting on his colleague. Due to tensions from social protests and conflicts, retail workers have become punching bags at the risk of serious injury. Protests are bringing robberies to the areas, typically in the areas that they occur, which is definitely a major problem, especially since retail workers are the ones at gunpoint. Retail equipment is falling apart at the same time, too. due to the low funding for companies to replace said equipment. For example, I work at the local Fred Meyer here in Ellensburg, Washington, and we have these step stools called OSHA step stools, which look somewhat like this diagram right here. Now, as you can see, they have little stoppers that are rubber that prevent the stool from falling over. However, the ones at my store no longer have those stoppers because they wore out and the company doesn't have enough funding to replace them. This is why we need to give funding to companies themselves as well, so that they can pay to have these safety issues fixed and mitigated. As we stated in the beginning, retail workers are under much more stress than we may realize as we pass by, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic brought multiple stressful factors to them. Action is essential to saving these workers from stress and harm on themselves as well as others around them. And we can start by spreading kindness as well as funding towards safety initiatives and supporting these retail workers' health resources to give them the mental and physical support that they so urgently need. Whether it's through a donation of money or a quick compliment, we can take action to better improve the lives of these retail workers. Kindness goes a long way, and even a smile can help make someone's bad day often turn towards a brighter horizon.